7th season of Laverne Shirley does so many boundary-stretching things with this premise, and nearly all of them pay off. We're also going to get a musical quadrilogy, a soap opera-based dream, and a heartfelt story where Squiggy struggles with his frustrated love for his long-lost father. The end result is a multifaceted but still slapstick-laden journey that harkens back to the show's best times, while adding new layers of tenderness, wiseness, and character growth. There are a few weird episodes which stand alone as harbingers for Season 8. Friendly persuasion and crime isn't pretty, I'm looking at you. But for the most part, Season 7 serves as the show's final ride into the sunset, before the backdrop comes crashing down on everyone in Season 8. Only 4 episodes this season bubble under my top 5, mostly because I'm going to cheat a little bit by listing some interconnected episodes, which have matching themes in my top 5. The Defiant One is funny and has a great performance by Richard Mall, but also fails to stick his landing entirely. Rocky Ragu has great direction, some poignant moments for Carmine and Shirley, and great stuff for the boys, but is hampered by some silly plotline choices. I Do, I Don't has some rollicking set pieces and a lot of spirit, but its semi-downer ending means that it can't climb the mountain to greatness. Love is the Tar Pits, while it combines drama and romantic shenanigans, and while it takes Lenny and Squiggy's connection to a new level of intimacy, understanding, and growth, the way Karen and Lenny's relationship plays out begs for more meat. And that slut-shaming joke with Laverne is just so wrong. With that said, here's the 5, okay 7 episodes I liked best this season in a very particular order.
Those Latvian lovelies you chased out of here, those with the ta-da girls.
The ta-da girls?
Yeah, every time the guys would do a trick, they'd go, ta-da! Ta-da! You're hired! This is the greatest moment.
You'll have that one episode. The one that only we seem to adore. The one that's foundational for our experiences when it comes to our favorite show. While those might like it or even tolerate it, we are its sole defender and guardian. For me, that outing is the most important day ever. This is Laverne Shirley's final main cast team-up. Last time, Carmine, Laverne, Shirley, Lenny, and Squiggy all have the same objective and attack as a team.
Well, look, all I can tell you is I'm working with Lenny and Squiggy, and this is not one of their usual stupid schemes, okay?
Carmine.
And I'm sworn to secrecy. I can't tell you no more. Goodbye. I'll see you later.
The worst thing about it is that it introduces that annoying easy Laverne flanderization that will take the show over for much of Season 7 and all of Season 8. But in its introduction, Laverne's reason for being a loosey-goosey and kissing a married man feels sensible, no matter what Shirley says.
Checked his finger, there was no ring, no tan line. Did you check his socks? Single men never wear matching socks. I don't like to mess with a guy's feet unless I know him real well. It's a little thing I have.
It's easy to argue that Season 7 is all about Lenny and Squiggy making their dreams come true. And for the most part, they succeed, finding places for themselves in the Hollywood hierarchy and genuinely discovering themselves as agents. This is their first triumphant moment. The realization that the boys have managed to score a generally pretty fair deal for their clients on a nationally broadcast television show proves that they've finally got a niche in the Hollywood system. Considering how far they've come, and considering when we first saw them, they were hauling casks of beer and living in a hole-in-the-wall apartment, this is quite the change. They've moved up, and so have the girls. Watching them finally get a little traction is actually very touching. It makes you wish the girls' careers had received more attention during Season 7, so they too could have triumphant moments such as these. Once the girls figure out what's going on, they actually stand up for the boys and pledge to themselves that they're going to make those acrobats fly. Shirley and Carmine's relationship actually regresses a little, the slapstick aplenty, filmed with inventive angles not usually used on the show, and there's a really great moral about coming together and helping your friends out. That's what's suffering through a tiny bit of slut-shaming, which gets so much worse in this season. In the end, it's a wonderful little story that makes me smile every time I watch it. Check it out, you might tell me for it.
Brunhilde, my sister, what happened to your date?
He had me in the back seat of his Cadillac. We went home to his couch. All at once he yelled, ouch! I'd stepped upon his corn. He'd sat down on my horn. I then...
Brunhilde, that is indeed a bummer, but...
The California years of Laverne Shirley struggle a bit to figure out how to translate the show's well-worn talent show formula to the land of sunshine and surf. Surprisingly, Season 7 doesn't return to the Hoot Night concept introduced in Season 6. Instead, this season's all-singing, all-dancing episode takes shape as a series of fantasy sequences which illustrate Carmine and Frank's ongoing verbal brawl over which sort of music is the best sort of music. Carmine says rock, Frank says opera, big band music and show tunes, and we're off to the races. throw in a little vaudeville, and you get this episode. This should be a simple throwaway outing that provides the audience with a half hour of amusement, but it becomes a perfect showcase for the cast's multifaceted collective talents instead.
You know our policy. First visit $15, second visit $10.
Good to see you again, Doctor.
$10.
The highlights are numerous, from Leslie Easterbrook owning a cover of Blue Moon that goes through multiple styles and speeds, to Eddie and Penny tapping their little hearts out. My second favorite Squig Tone song is in this episode, a rollicking cover of Nat King Cole's Call the Police, that's somehow horny and goofy all at once. And then there's the operetta, with its wicked lyrics, actual opera singles and vocals, and wonderful costumes. But I will admit this much. I am also a simple woman who enjoys watching good things happen to ships I adore, even when it happens in another universe. The staging usage of genuine opera talent, however, does help send this one into the stratosphere, and David Lander puts in a yeoman performance and has a whole lot of fun throwing in little asides as the operetta progresses.
That is correct, mustachioed character actor.
It's funny and a little tender at the same time, and that's good stuff. There's so much unexpected good to be had in this one, so try out your best Tom Jones impression and check it out.
You're not gonna shout? You're not gonna cry? You're not gonna pout?
No, and I'm telling you why. I don't deserve to go. You raised the money for those tickets. I did nothing.
Lenny, you helped in ways that hopefully you'll never find out about.
Season 7 is all about the growth of each main character of Laverne Shirley, as I said before. And no characters get developed more strongly than Lenny and Squiggy do this year. This is the season when Lenny finishes his climb out of Squiggy's shadow as his hapless patsy and becomes a force unto his own, with romantic wants and needs and professional dignities that are unique to him. Halloween Weekend is an excellent episode all on its own, but it really needs to be watched in concert with Inventive Awards and Love is the Tar Pits to experience the full gamut of emotions that comes to the boys' arc this season. It's probably unfair to link all three of these episodes together in a single entry, but I just survived season 8. Take it easy on me. These three items are wholeheartedly and completely married in their attempt at covering the immense personal growth the guys undergo, but the most perfectly flawless one here, and the ones getting the recommendation Duke, are Night of the Awards and Helmet Weekend.
Ah, checking up on a client, huh? What a businessman.
Well, no, not exactly. He borrowed $200 from Junko and said the agency would pay him back next week.
You mean to say that Squignowski owes Junko $200?
No.
Oh, that's good.
Squigman and Son owes Junko $200.
For the boys, season 7 is all about figuring out who they are as men. They stand on the verge of their 30s, with a friendship that hasn't evolved with them. This year, it evolves a lot. And a lot of that is about Squiggy coming into his own greatness as an agent, and cluing even more deeply into Lenny's importance to him as a friend and as a partner in life and in business. For Lenny, it's about finding independence and a sense of who he is when he's not a prop Squiggy's carrying into the room. Squiggy learns to let Lenny love others, and Squiggy learns to be more honest with him, and he realizes just who really loves him in return when the chips are down. Lenny in turn helps Squiggy let go of the past and the dead attachment to his father that Helmut was only ever manipulated for cash, and comes to realize his own dead association with his mother has kept him from experiencing adventure and throwing his all into the agenting business.
Lenny, you are nowhere. Your mother deserted you when you was 5.
Yeah, but if I had $100, maybe she wouldn't have left.
This growth begins to take actual root and lasts in a major way during season 7, and it's delightful and even touching to watch the boys change in this way. That's why season 7 is ultimately such a touching experience to behold and why it's such a vital season to the show. And Night of the Awards combines shenanigans, boy-centric logic, and a tender emotional core to give us a triumphant outing for everyone. It's not just about watching Lenny evolve past his old scars, it's not just about Squiggy's realization that his patsy is now his partner. It's about the 6-season journey these boys have taken to get to this point.
There they are. They're the two idiots who wrecked the awards.
Hear that? We're famous.
And how they become men along the way. Rhonda adds just the right amount of spice in the situation, whether it's buttering the boys up for tickets or proving she's a fabulous actress by threatening suicide in front of Lenny. The girls don't have much to do in this episode, but they provide wonderful gawking reacting shots to the boys' attempt at hobnobbing. And while Joy Heatherton doesn't get to do a whole lot with her guest part, she does get to step out of her sometimes stifling blonde bombshell image to give a knowing, witty performance. Halloween Weekend takes a deep dive into the boys' childhood friendship, and it's a rare chance to see Squiggy get starry-eyed over someone who's not a romantic prospect.
What's Squiggy's dad really like, huh?
Well, I'll tell you, Carmine. He's very charming in his own way. But he has definite bum-like tendencies.
But here's Helmet, his con man dad, aptly played by Wynn Irwin, and he's finally come back to rescue his little boy. Squiggy, independent and irascible, falls right back into line. But Lenny has Helmut's number right from the beginning, and he likely has for years. In fact, so do Carmine, Frank, and everyone else who knew them back on Nap Street.
This clown don't look like the clown I hired.
No. This clown is my dad.
Helmut? Hey, Helmut. Been a long time.
The Fazio.
Yeah.
You're still alive.
Yeah. And I'm gonna stay alive until I collect that $10 you owe me since 1946.
When Squiggy breaks Lenny's heart by saying he wants to make him a, quote, silent partner, unquote, in Squignowski, Lenny lets him taste his own medicine. The ultimate recommitment between them sees Squiggy realize Lenny's greatness, and Lenny realizes his own worth.
I could give you $50, Pa.
Make it 100. Life is so tough out there.
Why don't we make it 200, huh? Then we'll be right back where we started. What do you say, Dad, huh?
Now you're talking like my kid.
Now you're talking like a con man, because that's what you are, Dad. Just nothing but a cheap con man.
You don't call your father a con man. Now I raised you and I deserve some respect.
Raised me? You left me when I was 9 years old, Dad. Now you're gonna leave me when I'm 29, huh? Why don't you just say the same old stuff to me, huh? So long, folks. Later for you, Volkswagen. Goodbye, Bug.
The acting here is completely wonderful. If Dave is the human holding up the final seasons of the show like Atlas, then Michael brings Lenny to new places of confidence and anger that he hasn't displayed since season 1. The end is a reconnection or recommitment between the two that's nothing if not a display of real love. The only thing's being misunderstood. They definitely don't stint on the laughs on these two. From Lenny's one-man banjo to Junk of the Clown's awful plate spinning routine, these are episodes that make you laugh through your tears. They are comparable pieces of the show's history that ought not to be missed.
No, Laverne!
You're right. I should never move in with you. I'm sorry.
No, I didn't mean that. I'm sorry. It's just the new white rug, you see. I hate it when people walk on it with their shoes. You know what I mean? It's so beautiful and white and new. So what we do is we take off our little shoes right there. That's good. That's good. And there's something added attraction. You turn them this way. So when you're through with walking on the white rug, you're headed in the right direction.
Come on, Laverne. We've both been hurt. I mean, look at my arm. It's black and blue and pasty. And all because of what? All because of a lousy bowl of breakfast cereal. All because of scooter pies I didn't buy. Well, right then, what?
These episodes reflect Season 7's themes about growing up and getting older, with beautiful simplicity. One of them leans heavily into slapstick to establish themes of optimism, the other is completely serious about the difficulties of facing down the notion of compromising your values with someone you love. Together they help explain how the girls have become the women they are.
Look at you.
Which side do you want? Fish side or foam side?
Phone side.
Meet you in the middle.
Moving In beautifully combines a really touching love story between Laverne and Paul Sands David, which is based on commonality and trust. But they're both completely trapped by their own value systems. Laverne can't confront her own shortcomings until Lenny intervenes. These two don't spend nearly enough time together during Season 7, so the sight of Lenny counseling Laverne through a crisis of faith is touching, and puts something of a nice emotional capstone on their long friendship. While the Frank and Shirley segment is admittedly a little weak and predictable, it's still funny. And watching Shirley exist in her element as she tries to affect her aesthetic in the apartment is delightful. That and Sam's chemistry with Penny Marshall makes this a must-watch.
I mean, you take 1,000,000 vitamins, and you're still sick a lot, and you're weak, and you're pasty.
What do you mean I'm pasty? What do you mean I'm pasty? I'll have you know that the color of my skin is a classic ivory bisque.
Only Hurts and I Breathe takes the time late in Season 7, just when everything is coming to a close, to deconstruct the powerful friendship between the girls and the dreams they had in Season 1. Which ones have survived, and which ones do they continue to bear up?
I mean, it wouldn't be so bad if I hadn't blabbed my mouth off and said I was gonna go and marry some big shot doctor.
The last scene, entirely focused on Laverne and Shirley alone in their bedroom discussing their long friendship, speaks volumes of the importance of their connection to the show and why it does so poorly when Shirley disappears. We'll get to it very soon. Season 8. But there's nothing quite like either of these episodes in this season. If you want to have feelings about the girls blossoming into womanhood and accepting their 30s, take these two for a spin.
But Missy, I am merely your driver. I know nothing about motor mounts.
I'll drink to that.
So will I.
To motor mounts.
To motor mounts.
My heart. There'll be one less for dinner tonight, Rhoda.
Greatest episode of season 7 is just plain flat out fun. I will admit that I'm a soap opera fan and thus susceptible to big dramatic blasts of organ music. That was played on set by a real organist, by the way.
And have him give her something that'll put her to sleep for 2-3 days tops.
And that's just one of the details that makes Perfidy in Blue so great. The soap opera parody itself is winking, knowing, and dead on accurate, even for soap operas that still air and stream to this day. But even more importantly, it has fun putting the cast in lavish costumes and lets them speak forth with witty, nasty, and all too funny bars.
Bliss. And may a tuna boat dock on her face.
This is Diane Anthony and Wes Erickson's magnum opus, and everyone looks great while they speak fun, and it could only happen in a Shirley fever dream. Even better, the plot plays on the loyalty between the girls and gives us unusual character pairings that we rarely see throughout the show's history. The number of times Lenny and Shirley and Squiggy and Laverne actually express attraction to one another that can be counted on one hand. So it's funny to watch them hide behind plants and make out under pianos together. Bill Foster and Leslie Easterbrook, too, are having a lot of fun with their outer characters, even though it's a little creepier to watch the two of them for.
Would anyone care for a nice young Beaujolais?
Later. Right now, I like some wine.
My only real complaint about this episode is that Eddie Mecca is underused as Carlisle the pharmacist, but beggars can't be choosers, and his part is funny even though it amounts to a bit role.
The big bottleneck lie is, you are all my children.
And also probably the incest revelation could have been eliminated, but at least the show holds back absolutely nothing with that little twist. And it is a properly soapy twist. I mean, have you ever watched Passions? All of that raucous humor, the great costume designs, the incredible acting from every single actor, and the central moral message of telling your friends the truth instead of hiding things from them provides a glorious tableau. Watch it, even if it feels like a mysterious organist is trailing you around. Season 7 of Laverne Shirley is a complicated brew of theme. It makes you laugh and cry in equal amounts. Some episodes preview the croctacular horrors that Season 8 has waiting around the bend. Others deeply grow the rogues gallery we know and love. It's an overall mixed bag, but there are so many positive stops along the way that the whole season is absolutely worth watching. It's just a shame things won't be staying this way. This is Lisa Fernandes, wondering, what would Charles Grodin do?